Welcome to Lesson 2 of Chapter 6. We've established why we test and how to structure tests with Mocha. But there's a critical problem we haven't addressed yet: where do you run your tests? It's not enough to have great tests if they run in an environment that's completely different from production. Your test environment needs to be the same or as close as possible to your production environment. And I mean everything: the same operating system version, the same Node.js version, the same database server version, the same system dependencies. Even small differences can cause tests to pass locally but fail in production, or worse, pass in testing but produce incorrect behavior in production. For Node.js specifically, always ensure your test environment runs the same Node.js version used in production. You can test against multiple versions to catch compatibility issues, but your primary test target must match production. This is where Docker comes in. Docker is a Linux container technology similar in concept to OpenVZ that lets you create, version, and share environments. Unlike virtual machines like Vagrant, Docker doesn't need to boot an entire operating system. Containers are lightweight and start in seconds. If you like how npm lets you version and share packages, you'll feel right at home with Docker. You version your environments and dependencies the same way. Here's the workflow. You pull a base image, Docker pull node to 0.12.4. This downloads the official Node.js 0.12.4 image. Notice when you run Docker images that the 0, 0.12, latest, and 0.12.4 tags all point to the same image ID because 0.12.4 happens to be the latest in the 0.x and 0.12.x lines. Always pin to the specific version tag, never use latest, because latest changes and your builds would start picking up new versions automatically. You can verify the image works by running docker run it node to 0.12.4 bash, which drops you into an interactive bash session inside the container. Check node v and npm v to confirm the versions. Type exit when done. The container stops. You can remove stopped containers with docker rm followed by the container ID. The real power comes from Dockerfiles, a recipe for building your test environment. You define a base image, install your test dependencies, and expose a volume where your application code lives. Then anyone on your team runs the same tests in the same environment. Consistent, reproducible, trustworthy. Now let's build an actual Docker test environment. The Docker file is a simple text file that describes your container image. For our Node.js test environment, it looks like this. Line 1, from node to 0.12.4. This says our image is based on the official Node.js 0.12.4 image. Everything we add is layered on top of this. Line 2, run npm install gmocha. This installs Mocha globally inside the container. Every container built from this image will have Mocha available. Line 3, volume/op/app/. This creates a mount point inside the container. When you run the container, you can map this path to your local project directory, so the container can access your actual source files without baking them into the image. This is important: you want one generic image you can use for any Node.js project, not a new image per project. To build this image, run docker build tenv/test. In the directory containing your Docker file. Docker executes each step, shows you what it's doing, and produces a final image ID. Now you have an image called env/test. To run your tests inside this image, docker run at rmv/home/mukesh/desktop personal project, may/video generator scripts /op/app env/test mocha/op/app. Let's unpack this command. The lit flag runs it interactively with a TTY. The rm flag discards the container when it exits. You don't accumulate dead containers. The v flag mounts your current directory into /op/app inside the container. And mocha/op/app is the command that runs when the container starts. It finds your test files and executes them. When Mocha finishes, the container exits with an exit code, 0 for all tests passing, non-zero for failures. This exit code is accessible from the outside. In your CI pipeline, you check this exit code to know whether to proceed or to flag the build as failed. This architecture, multiple developers committing to a central repository, a test server running tests on every commit in a clean Docker environment, and only deploying to production after tests pass, is the foundation of modern continuous delivery. Every commit is tested. The test environment is identical for every run. Note it works on my machine problems. Continuous integration, or CI, is the practice where all developers of an application continuously integrate their changes into a central repository. This is a core practice of extreme programming, abbreviated XP. CI introduces new features faster and helps avoid code conflicts by reducing the time between when code is written and when it's merged. Here's how it works in practice. When a developer commits code, the CI server pulls that commit, runs the full test suite in a clean environment, and reports the result. If all tests pass, the commit is green. If any test fails, the commit is flagged and the team is notified. The test results should be visible to everyone on the team. This creates social accountability and motivates developers to keep tests green. There are 4 best practices for a successful CI setup. First, use a version control system. Git is the standard. Git's hook system lets you trigger test runs automatically on every push or pull request. Second, every commit must be checked to guarantee it passes all tests. No exceptions. Third, keep your test environment completely separate from your production environment. Docker makes this straightforward. Fourth, automate your deployment. If tests pass, deployment to staging or production should happen without manual intervention. One important CI strategy is to run the latest commit that passed all tests into production. For simple applications, this can happen on every passing commit. For larger applications with big user bases, you might deploy at scheduled intervals, but always from a verified green commit. Now, CI is not magic, there are risks you must manage. Your test base might not cover all your code. If some code paths are never executed by your tests, bugs can hide there and you won't know until production. This is why code coverage matters, and we'll cover that next. Your test base might also not cover all your use cases. Use cases that aren't described as tests might work correctly by accident, or they might fail silently. Describe every use case explicitly. There are also test cases that are hard to reproduce: race conditions, specific data combinations. Work to eliminate these, because tests that can't run reliably undermine the whole CI system. Also remember, always test against a copy of production data when possible. The size and relationships in real data can trigger performance problems and logical edge cases that your synthetic test data never will. A hierarchical data structure with circular references, for example, might only appear with real data at scale.